confession. I overthink a lot. I overthink way more than I should, and it causes me to be stagnant because I'm trying to plan out every move, and I don't want to start anything until I've planned out every possible solution. And that's not how we should operate. And I know that God is in control, and I know that He says be anxious for nothing. But sometimes my flesh will take over, if I'm being honest. And when it takes over, it produces me being stagnant. It produces a laziness and even a depression. Depression is something that I've been battling with for a long time, especially before I gave my life to Christ. I had major waves of depression, and I would be happy, but I didn't have anything that was sustainable, so that depression would come in and take over sometimes. And once I gave my life to Christ, fully gave my life to Christ, that was something He took away. And I see that when I'm being lazy and I'm not completely seeking after God, then that depression will start to come back in, and I don't know, just cause me to overthink. Really, I realized that my overthinking and my laziness, and my depression, they all coincide with each other and they're all connected. So when I'm being lazy and I'm not seeking the source, I'll start to overthink, which will lead to my depression because I'm remaining stagnant. And it's oftentimes, it takes me a while to realize that. See, I had this epiphany when I was laying in bed. I laid in bed the whole day yesterday. I did not get up once because I was depressed. I had no real reason to be depressed, but I just knew I was down in the dumps, and that's not how I want to be. So I just talked to God, and I prayed out of it, and I asked Him to give me the courage and the strength, because I know the Bible says be anxious for nothing. And I know the Bible says that the peace that He has overcome the world. So I know what to do. It's just I have to be more disciplined to go out and do it and walk out what He said I can have and walk out who He said I can be. And that kind of brings us to with my church. My church has this word. We have a word for the year every year, and this word is abide. And abide also means remain, especially in the specific verse that they use. So I look at that, and it makes me think of me when I'm not abiding in Him, when I'm not remaining in His presence. Then nothing good comes from that. Me being lazy, me being depressed, me overthinking, that's a result of me not being in Him. So that's something I don't ever want to be anymore. And that's kind of where y'all come in. I like doing these videos. I've thoroughly enjoyed talking to y'all and being open and being honest, and hopefully helping people as they continue to seek after God and seek after Christ. And by making these videos, especially the new ones that I'm trying to do, hopefully I can, this can serve as like an accountability thing, so I can continue to stay on the right path and start to be more disciplined, so I can remain in him or abide in him and produce good fruit instead of the laziness, the depression, the overthinking. Produce fruit of joy, happiness, the real fruits of the spirit, self-control. Those are big ones for me and big things that I want to do for 2025. So hopefully you see the rest of this video, y'all enjoy it, y'all connect with it, and we go all seek God together, because I'm for sure not perfect, but I want to be as close to God as I can, and that overthinking, that depression, that laziness is not a thing I want to carry on from this point forward. So as much as this is a video that I'm putting out to YouTube, this is really just self-talk. I don't want to go back to my old ways. I very much so want to be new, want to be transformed, want to be all that God has called me to be. And in order to do that, I got to abide in him. I got to remain in him. So before you see the rest of this vid, there's a verse that I want to leave with y'all. And it's John 15:7. It says, if you abide in me and my words abide in you, ask whatever you wish and it will be given unto you. Another version says, if you remain in me and my words remain in you, ask whatever and it shall be given unto you. And that just reminds me to remain in him, not be so caught up in my own desires, my laziness, depression, overthinking, anything that the flesh is trying to tell me, but to remain or abide in him and keep his words in me. Keep his words close to my heart, as close as humanly possible, as close as spiritually possible, because it ain't just flesh and blood. Yeah. All right, cool. Let's get it. I feel like I never know how to end these videos. I'll just fade it to black.